How's it going, guys and gals, whoever's watching? Been a long day and a long night last night. We're off the tripod because I'm gonna have to climb up on the car to show you a few things today, but today and yesterday and probably the night before, I don't even remember at this point, we've been trying to install the new Garrett G25-660 on my Supra. There's a few of them out there in the wild, I think. The only one I could find anything on was in Australia. Surprise, they do weird things. Gotta love the Aussies. Anyway, ran into a bit of a hurdle. I'm a dingus. I bought the reverse rotation style thinking it would help me with the install and plumbing side of things with where the pipes ran, and didn't quite work out like I thought it did. I'll show you here in just a moment why that is. Basically, the big problem I ran into is that manifolds for a 1J tend to be designed for a standard rotation turbo. If you have a reverse rotation turbo, it tries to put the turbo where your suspension is. So that doesn't work too well. Speaking of the G25 though, it's kind of cool. I was looking up some specs on it and whatnot, and it's made of something called MAR-M alloy. Not real sure what it is, but it has a temperature rating of like 1050 degrees Celsius. So, you know, I think it might be made of dolomite, probably about 80% dolomite. It's good to know just in case you need to jump in a volcano or something, or in this particular case, put up with some anti-lag. I probably won't be doing anti-lag, especially if this thing spools up like I expect it to. So, anyway, we're just going to leave him be. Not sure what he's doing here, but he looks pretty happy. For sure that's a smile on a squirrel's face. Nice. Anyway, let's hop on up, huh? Alright. So, what we're looking at here. This is my engine. Alright. And you can see the way the manifold would normally point the turbo slightly this way. Well, a normal rotation turbo spins this way, clockwise. I bought a reverse rotation turbo, which I thought would spin kind of this way for some reason. I'm not sure what I was thinking, but it's not quite going to work out like I thought it was. So, that's what this fancy little adapter's for. The bottom half, this part right here, has a T4, which is a square little platform, a manifold flange that allows a turbo to bolt onto it. It converts that to V-band because Garrett does not offer a T4 version of this turbo just yet. The exhaust housing that all the exhaust collects through. It's in their catalog, has a part number, but they haven't made any yet. So I'm not sure why, but it's kind of irritating because that's the one I wanted. But with Garrett, it could be years, could be months, could be next week. Nobody knows when they're going to release them and make them available. So, a bit of a bummer there, but anyhow. So I tried to fabricate this little adapter right here. Yeah, the bottom welding isn't mine. That's something I bought prefabbed and thought that this little bend right here would be enough to bring the turbo exhaust out and then put the turbo here, and I was hoping for more of a angle to the right, so the turbo would kind of sit right here and spool right through this general area. Trouble is, this guy right here puts the turbo kind of right up here. It doesn't hit this, but man, it is close, as short as that pipe is that I cut it. I mean, we're talking a maybe 2 millimeter space between here and the bottom of the turbo housing where it sits right here. So the turbo would kind of sit, right about there if I had my hand just right. Trouble is, you start to come over here and notice there's not a lot of height right here. And if my turbo is sitting up in this area here, notice how my finger's starting to go above the fender line. Well, that's where the hood closes. Yeah, that's what I ran into. I wasn't going to be able to close the hood. So, much as I hate to do it, sometimes it's best to know, when it's time to give up on a particular pursuit. And given that I live in BFE and fabrication supply places, kind of few and far between for weird stuff like what I need here. And I also don't really have the best stuff for fabricating manifolds. Yeah, I ended up ordering a standard rotation turbo a couple hours ago, so that one kind of kicked me right in the butt on the budget. So I'm gonna be eating ramen for a little while. Oh well, that'll be worth it in the end, and hopefully I can sell that turbo I did buy. And lesson learned here, folks. Always, always, always test fit your parts before you send them off for an irreversible coating, because if you do that, you might have a turbo you can return if you make the mistake of buying one that's not going to fit your application. Yeah, so I coated mine. Can't return it. So it's permanently modified. It's mine now, so, or at least it is until someone buys it. Hopefully, I don't know, Miata guy or maybe Subarus can run them. I don't really know what particular car would run that sort of turbo, but hopefully we'll find somebody. I don't think Garrett would make them if they weren't useful. Anyway, back down now. Yep. Yeah, under the car. What do we got going on here? Well, we have my favorite wiring. I'll show you here. Where to go? Ah, yeah. Here's the old relay. Notice, looks a little crispy right here. That's because I tried to burn up. I lost my fans. So we are in, I don't even know what the heck's going on here, but anyway, we're designing a redundancy system with all this stuff down here. We're gonna have each fan wired up individually. The only thing they will share will be the power source up underneath here. This, I don't know if you can really see that or not, but this is where it's getting the power from. Big fuse right off the alternator, which is right up there, I guess. It's kind of hard. I can look right at it, but kind of hard to point a camera at it sometimes. So anyway, that's about where we're at for now, and this video is running on about 7.5 minutes, so I think we will flip the camera around and say goodnight for now. Take care, folks. We'll see you next time.